wouldn't it be great if you could send an email from your WordPress or WooCommerce store that looks like this one that I just got from Vimeo? It's nice, it's modern, it's clean, but it's not overly designed as well. It just looks like what you would expect to see from somebody announcing a new feature from their brand. Let's go ahead and recreate this so you can do the same for your business. In our WordPress dashboard, we'll go to plugins and then add new plugin. And on the right-hand side, you want to search for FunnelKit Automations. And the plugin to install is this one down here, Recover WooCommerce Cart Abandonment, Newsletter, Email Marketing, Marketing Automation. If you click here, you can see the features that you get here, but the one that we're going to be using today is the inbuilt drag and drop visual email builder. After we design this email today, I'll show you some other features that FunnelKit Automations can do. There's also a pro version of the plugin. I'll leave a link to that in the description below. With the plugin installed and activated, I'll go to FunnelKit Automations, and then here under Emails, I'll click on Global Styles. In Global Styles, this is where you set your logo and your brand colors, the typography to be used in your emails, the font size, the colors of your links, how you want your buttons to look. So basically, you set the default styling for the elements that make up your emails. And once you've done that, you're ready to design your emails. I'm going to keep this open because we'll come back to this in just a second. But if we come back to the Vimeo email, we can sort of see that they're announcing a new feature. So they're sending this out to their email list as a broadcast email, a one-off email to a segment of their email list, or maybe all their email list. So let's go ahead and do something similar. In FunnelKit Automations, you can send broadcast. So I'll click here, and then I'll click Create Email Broadcast. I'll give it a name and click Add. And that enters us into a 4-step wizard to send our broadcast. The first step is where we select whether or not we just want to send a normal email, or we could send an A/B test. Here, I'm just going to select Standard, and then I'll go Next. Step 2 is where you select the segment of your email list that you send this broadcast to. Here, I'm going to apply a filter where the contact's details, their email address, is my email address, and click Apply. And now I'm only sending this broadcast to myself, which we're doing because it's a test. I'll click Next. And on step 3, we start designing the email. I'll enter the subject line for the email, and I'll also enter the preview text that shows when somebody's about to click into the email from something like Gmail. Then scrolling down, with the visual builder selected, I'll click Edit to launch the visual email builder. To start designing your emails, there's 3 different ways that you can get started. The first one is to choose one of the pre-made designs as a starting point. So if we went and clicked Preview here, so if we like this one, we could click to apply our global styles, and now that updates the design with our global styles. The second way to get started is to use one of your own templates. So if we click on Saved, this would list all the templates that you've created and saved into FunnelKit Automations. I currently don't have any here, but we're going to create one a little bit later on in today's video. Under pre-built, the third way to get started is to start from blank. And that's what we're going to do in this video. So let's click Start from Blank. And now we're in the drag and drop email builder. And it works exactly the same as a page builder that you're used to using to build your website. On the left-hand side, you have a structure, which are your rows and your sections and your columns, and you drag them from the left over onto the right. And then inside of your columns, you add your blocks. So our site logo, we could drag into here. And then if we added some text, that could be into there. And then lastly, we could add a button underneath that. You'll notice that our site logo, the styling of our text, the font size and the font, as well as our buttons, our background color, and the text font are the global styles that we looked at earlier. And these are set up for my website. But if our brand was Vimeo, our global styles would match this branding here. Across all the emails that we send, we'd have our logo, we'd have this styling for our font, our buttons would look like this, and then down here, we'd have this color for the background color. Inside of our color palette, we'd have a white background for the content area of the email, and the background over here would be this gray color. So let's go ahead and adjust our global styles to match Vimeo's branding. I'll quickly download the Vimeo logo by right-clicking and saving to my computer. And I'll do the same with this image here. Then in our global styles, let's edit and adjust our logo to Vimeo's and click select. We'll link our logo to the Vimeo homepage. I'll set this to auto width, then moving to brand colors. I'll go ahead and just delete these just by clicking the trash icon, and then we'll add our new color. I'll add the primary blue color. Then I'll add the darker gray color that we'll use for the background. And then I'll add the light gray color that we'll use for the box with the bullet points. Then for typography, I'll set this to Helvetica. I'll increase the font size to 18. I'll leave the text color and we'll go to link colors. There's no links in this email here, but in the footer, they underline it with the black font color. So let's just go ahead and do the same. So we'll set it to our charcoal color and leave that as underlined. Then for our buttons, this will be our blue color. So I'll go up to here and I'll click and I'll just select that blue. And then down here for the button, we will update this. Then the text is going to be a black. The font size is going to be 18. And we'll set this to auto width, which means the width of the button will be dependent on the text inside the button. If you want yours to be 100%, you could disable that and set the width, but I like to just keep that as auto width. Next, we'll come back to footer in a second, but under layout, this is where you define the width of your emails. I'll leave the width and the content position as they are here. The content background color will be white, but the body background color under brand colors is going to be this darker gray color here. So I'll select that, and then down here, body background, I will update that. Then you could adjust your social networks. You could click here and you could add Facebook, X, LinkedIn, Instagram, and you just put in your URLs there. And then when you're in the email builder, you can drag the social block into the page, and that will show those social links here for this block. And the reason that we do it here and not in the email builder is so that we can manage this in one place and have it update across all the emails that we're sending. So they have X, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. Let's save our global styles, and then we need to adjust our footer. And this takes us to a page under FunnelKit Automations, Settings, and Email. And under footer here, this is where you define the text that gets added to the end of all your emails. And the same principle applies with the social networks. We update it here, and it updates across all the emails that we send. I'll paste in the text from Vimeo's email, and then we just add the appropriate links. So down here, you can see what FunnelKit Automations calls merge tags, which are dynamic bits of content that get replaced when the email is sent. So one of the ones we have is business name. So let's copy this from here, and we could put that wherever we want that to go. So for example, we could put that there, and then business address is another one. So we could copy that, and then after this comma, we could put that there. Then we have a merge tag for the unsubscribe link. So we'll get that from there, and we'll copy the you may unsubscribe text, and then we'll click on the link icon, and then we'll paste in that merge tag and then apply it. Lastly, let's link the terms page to the terms page on our website. So when you search here, it lists all your WordPress pages. So we'll click on apply, and then privacy, I will do the same by searching for that page, selecting it, and then applying. So at the bottom, I'll click save. And now the global styling for our emails is all set up. I'll refresh the page here to load the new global styles. And already we can see our email starting to come together. Under layouts and pre-built, there's layouts that come with FunnelKit Automations that you can use as a starting point for the different sections in your emails. And you can also filter. So if we went to header and drag this one up the top, we could use that as a starting point. We could also go back and look for a banner and then drag that across. And that's a really easy way to start creating your emails. But I wanted to show you that because you can also create your own reusable sections that you can reuse within your emails. And one of those that we might want to use is a header. So I'll go ahead and remove that, and then remove that from there. And let's go ahead and build our header section. So let's go to blocks, and I'll drag the site logo in, and we'll move that to the left. To make this logo smaller, I'll disable auto width, and we'll scale it down to 75%. Then let's save this row. So I'll click here, and then over with the three dots, I'll select this and click Save Layout. And here, I'll give it a meaningful name and click Save. So now in the future, if we ever build an email and we want to use this header, all we would need to do is we'd be starting from blank. Then under Layouts, Saved, we'd see our header simple. We drag this in, and we're ready to design the rest of the email. Next, let's do this heading with the 2 paragraphs of text, the button and the image, with the other heading, and then the bullet points in the gray box. We may as well go down and do the button and then this text here. Very fast and easy to do. So this needs to be one column. So we could click here and then just delete the column. And then back here, under blocks, you'll notice there's no heading block. You add a text block. To keep the video short, just assume that I'm copying and pasting from the other email. So here we'll go ahead and duplicate this, and then we will duplicate it another time. And then under that, we will add a button block, and we want to position it on the left. And then I'll update the text. Then up here, we will add our image block under that, and I'll click upload image, and I'll select it, and then click select image. Now we need to consider how we're going to do this gray background color here on this box. We know that this is a row going across here, and inside of a row are sections. If we were to put all of this in one section, and then inside of there was one column, then we'd have the heading block, and then we'd have the list block. You can't set a background color on a block. So if we went back here and I dragged the list block into the page and released it, we don't get background settings. You get background color settings. If we click here, we can navigate. So on the column, we can set the background color. Or also, if we went to the section, we can set it there, and then also on the row. So if this is a list block, moving one up from that would be column. So we could set the background color here on a column, but that would mean that then this would be a section, and we'd have another section above it. So let's go ahead and do that. So back here, I'll just go ahead and delete this. So we have our row, then we have our section with our heading. Now let's go ahead and add another section. So I'll drag it from here. But again, instead of releasing it on the very outer edges where it would create a new row, let's drag it in a little bit to create a new section in the existing row. Then inside there, we'll go to blocks and we'll drag our list block into here. And now I have the text in there. And then if we click here to select the parent column, we can go to background color, and we see those Global Styles brand colors here. So I can select this, and then we adjust the padding, and we adjust the border radius. And now we have our box. If we come back up, you'll notice that this button has a bit more padding than what the reference has. In the Global Styles, you can't set the padding for the button, at least at not this stage. So what we can do is just set it locally on this element and then duplicate it. So here I'll go to padding and adjust these values. Then down here, we just need to add another section. So I'll go to structure and I'll drag that in and drop it down there. And then we will duplicate this button. So I'll click here. And before I duplicate, you'll notice that there's some padding over here around the button. So let's go ahead and remove that on the left. And let's also do that on the right. And now we can duplicate. So I'll click here and click duplicate. And then I'll get the handle and drag that down here and release it in our new section. Under that, we just need another text block. And then finally, we just need to add our footer block. So I'll drag a new row down the bottom, and then inside there, I'll go to blocks and drag our footer block and drop it. You'll notice that you can't edit this here. You could turn this off and then edit it locally, but I wouldn't recommend that. I would just keep it set to use the global content. And if you ever need to edit it, go to that page again, FunnelKit Automations, Settings and Email, and edit it from here. Here, let's click on the section and we'll adjust the background color to be our gray color. And if you think you're going to reuse this design here, I would select this and then go over and save that as a layout and save it as footer gray background and click save. For now, let's go ahead and just clean this up a little bit. So we need to set our typography and adjust the spacing between the different blocks inside of the email. I'll show you how to do a few, but you'll be able to work out the rest. So you just select the text, highlight it, Command B like normal to bold it, and then we'll make the text a bit bigger. Let's try 28 or maybe 30. If we go back to our blocks, you have a divider block. So if you wanted to drag and drop that in here and then set the height to 0, and then you can just easily adjust its size by adjusting the top and bottom padding. So you could do like 32 there. You could even set this to just 0 and just adjust it using the top. That might be one way that you might want to do it. Then all you'd need to do is just come in here and duplicate that and then drag it between the different sections on the page. So maybe at the bottom here, we drag and drop that there. Or if we go ahead and just delete that, and I delete that as well. Alternatively, you could just click on a block and then disable the lock, and we can just update one value, and we could update the top to be 25. Then under that, what's new, we could click, and you'll also notice that there's a globe icon here, which lets us know that it's currently using the global setting for this value. So in our global styles, we set the default font size to be 18 pixels, and the globe is green because this is 18 pixels. If we select the text, make it bold, and then change the font size to something like 24, now this goes gray because we're not using the global value. You could select here to revert it, and now it's back to 18 pixels and green, and you'll see that throughout the interface. If I click here on the font color, the globe is here because we're using the charcoal from our global styles. If I change it, then it obviously goes to be, like, say, a red color, and the globe says reset to global styles because we're not using it. If I click here, it resets to the charcoal. So I'll go ahead and adjust this back to maybe 24. And then under that, I'll select this section here. And for the top, let's give it a 0 padding to bring it closer to the heading. And also on this section, we'll remove this. Maybe we make that 8 or even 0 like that. And then for this one down here, on this paragraph, let's add some top of, say, 16 pixels. Then lastly, we just need to increase the gutter here for the sections so there's more space between our background and the content of the email. And to do that's very easy. We just click on the section, and then under padding, for the left, we could try 30, and we'll do the same for the right to keep it centered. And we just go through the different sections and adjust those values to be the same. So down here, that would be 30 and 30. And then here it would be 30 and 30. And here also it would be 30 and 30. And the last thing to do is link the buttons to where they need to go by clicking here and searching our WordPress website. So this might go to my homepage, which is this page here. And then down here, learn more, I might link this to my about page, which is this page here. I'll click save. Then we could see what it's going to look like on a mobile by clicking up the top there and scrolling through and just making sure everything looks really nice and neat. And then lastly, we'd send a test email. So preview and test. I'll put in my email address and click send email. It says test email sent. And here's that email in our inbox, looking pretty much exactly the same as the Vimeo email that we base this off. Two changes that I would make is make the footer text here smaller. And secondly, I noticed we lost the rounded corners on this box here. I'm not quite sure why. Maybe that's just a bug with the current version. But all around, that's how easy it is to go and recreate an email like this that you can send from WordPress and send for your WooCommerce store. If this email announcing a new feature is a type of email that we know we're going to send a lot in the future, it makes sense to save this as a template to be reused for future emails. So to do that is very easy. We just save this and then exit out of the email builder. And then down here, we click Save as Template. We give it a name and click Save. So in this case, to send this broadcast, I would click Next. Then I could schedule this for later, or I could send it now. I'll click Send Now. That's been sent to one contact. Here that is in my inbox. If I click to open it, it looks like this. And if I click the link, that takes me to an About Us page. And we can see that the stats updated for a one person opened it, which would be 100%. One person clicked it, 100% click-through rate. Not bad. Let's get out of this. If we go down here under emails and then templates, we can see announcements simple is here. We could click here and then click to edit the template. And in the future, if you want to send a broadcast with that template, you go to broadcasts and then create email broadcast. I'll just name this test. And then we'll go next. I'll just send this to myself. I'll click next. And then here on step 3, content, we do our email subject line, add the preview text. And then here we click to templates and then announcement simple. We click apply. And then if we click edit, we're back in here exactly where we were before. And then we just go ahead and update this to the new announcement, update the text, update the links, update the image, click save, and then exit out of the builder, then go to next, send, you're done. A very easy way to send emails out to your list. Another way that you can use the email builder and your email templates is in your automations. So if I go to automations and then into this automation, you can see that when somebody fills out a pop-up on my website, I send that data into this automation. And then if they're subscribed, yes, then I update a custom field. And then if they're subscribed down here, we send them an email about what's going to be included in the course, which is what the pop-up's promoting. Then up here, if they fill in the pop-up and they're not currently subscribed, then I send them an email where they have to click the link to confirm they want to be subscribed. And then after that, we update the custom field, and then I send them the email about what's in the course and when they can expect it and stuff like that. So you can go into this automation and then click the plus sign and then add an action to send an email. I'll click done. And then here we could go to templates. We could use the announcement template and apply it. And you can create templates for all the different types of emails that you'll send for WordPress and for your WooCommerce store. If we were to exit out of this and exit out of this and then go create automation and use one of the pre-built recipes here for the abandoned cart reminder. So we'll click here and then click import recipe. I'll just call this AC for abandoned cart and click create. Now, when somebody abandons their cart in our store, we'll wait 30 minutes and we'll send them an email that says, hi, first name, we noticed you were trying to make a purchase. If you didn't want to send this email using a rich text format, you could swap over to the drag and drop visual builder. You could start with one of your templates, or you could click edit and then use one of the pre-built designs here. So here's an abandoned cart template. If I click preview, it looks like this, where it will have their name and then what they've abandoned in their cart. If they click this, they go back to the checkout page and autofills all their details. We have some testimonials, and there's also another abandoned cart here, which looks like this with the same sort of details, their cart details, go back to checkout, and some trust seals here, frequently asked questions. So we could go and apply our global styles here if we wanted to. So if we go up, see this button's black. If we do this, it goes to our blue color, and then we could import template, and I'll change this and we'll go to that color. And for the text here, let's make it a black color. So if we go down to here, let's reset it to our global charcoal color. And then down here, this is all looking pretty good. And just like that, we've customized this to match our branding. If I did preview and test, and then entered my email and clicked send email, email sent successfully, it looks like this, where it's put in some dummy data here, and we can see what this would look like if a customer were to receive this. So that's how easy it is to take a pre-made design, apply your global styling, and have something like this. If we exit out of the email builder and save this and then go back and then save and close, now when somebody abandons their cart or waits 30 minutes and they will be sent that email with their cart contents with a link to take them back to checkout. And then we wait a day and then we send them this next email. Now this one's rich text. We could use the visual builder here, but you can also mix and match. So in this automation, we might send the first one with the visual builder, wait a day, and then we send this one that's a bit more text. And maybe the customer receiving this feels like somebody's typed this out a bit more and it feels a bit more personal. Now, if you're not sure which one is going to give you the best success, you could set up a split test. So here, this, if we exit out of this, this would be our default text-based one. We could click here and then add a split path, and I'll give this a name. So testing email format and number of paths, we'll do 2, and then give it a description. So testing text-based versus visually designed email, seeing which one gives us the best conversions. So it's going to split 50% of people over here, and then 50% will see path B. So let's go ahead and copy this and then paste that there. And then we will go ahead and copy from there and we'll paste it into path B. And then down here, the original, I will delete that and delete. Then this is going to be the text-based. Now let's click here and change this to Visual Builder. And I'll start with a template. So I'll go edit. And let's use this template here. So I'll go preview, apply the global styles, and then import template. And I'll just quickly adjust the colors here. So we'll set this to our gray color. And then this color here, we will set to our blue. And then coming down, that's already updated. And then here, we'll select and do this to maybe the lighter gray color. And this, we will also set to the blue. And then for the border, we will set that to the blue. And then this one here also to the blue. And then that's looking pretty good. So I'll go ahead and click save. and then we'll exit out of this and then save and close. And finally, somebody's going to abandon their cart. We wait 30 minutes, we send them an email, and then we wait a day, and then 50% of people will see the text-based email that looks like this one, and then the other 50% of people will go down to path B. They'll see that designed email, and then they just continue as normal. And then up here, we'll be able to see the results. So if we click view results, we'd be able to see how many contacts went to each path, how many opened, how many clicked, and then we'll be able to see the revenue per path and also the revenue per contact. Once we know which one's making us the most money, we could click declare as winner, and then declare as winner, and then close. And then if we go and have a look on the main path, we now only have the winning variation and the other one was archived. If you're a solopreneur, a creative, or a coach looking to sell digital products online, and what I've shown you looks like it could really benefit you, definitely head on over to my website to find out more of these tips. Also, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel to see more content like this today, and watch this video here that's going to show you another tip that's going to help you with your website.